This is KAOP, AM 1045. My name is Danny.
I'm Joseph.
And I'm Nicole.
And we are Accents on Purpose, a weekly radio show that brings you all the music that's been happening in Seattle, the Pacific Northwest, and beyond.
Every week, every song.
Every week, every song.
How many watts we got this week, Danny?
Let me check the gauge. We're at 88 watts.
88 watts, just like we promised.
That last song you just heard was Mysterious Skin with Skin Suit.
Ooh.
They will be playing this Saturday, November 7th at the Black Lodge with Humming of Death, Lysol tour kickoff. I'm excited.
You love Lysol.
I love Lysol.
We played a lot on the podcast.
They're on the radio show.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And a couple other bands. So, Nicole, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. How you doing?
Not too bad.
I'm drinking some cider in honor of Joseph, who can't drink gluten.
Thank you. I can't drink gluten. Not because I hate that everyone keeps trying to give me like jarred gluten for me to eat.
I'm always giving you jarred gluten.
I was pleased when I saw you walk in with that dry cider.
It's pretty good.
They're not paying us to say the name, so I don't want to say it. But
don't say it.
It's out there.
Don't say it. Danny loves advertising.
Yeah. Well, actually,
we gotta pay the bills.
All right, funny you should mention that. Because we got an email. We got contacted.
Wait, is this Correspondence Corner?
Well, that's
not yet.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? We'll get there.
We'll get there. So we got contacted by a band that said that they wanted to come to our studio. They're going to be in Seattle. They wanted to come on air and come to our studio and play.
God, I wish.
No, I don't know if I want to say. Should we say the name of the band?
I don't want to give them, like, we sort of talked about this, like, we don't want to have them on, but if we say their name, then they pretty much get free press to the thousands of listeners of AM Radio.
They're horrible people. So I went to their website, and they have a video where they tell you to watch it and click anywhere on the video, and you can see what the name of their clothing and their instruments and where you could buy, and links to where you could buy them. Their video is a giant ad for multiple things.
That's really interesting because you love advertising.
Yeah, it's like, fuck you, just like go into advertising. Don't have a band be a vehicle for you to advertise these things. Do you have anything you just want to say? I mean, you read their email.
Yeah, it's not great. Oh, I want to say that they have a review on there, like about how it's the most groundbreaking musical experience you'll ever see, and it's from Yahoo Voice, which is like not a taste-making blog whatsoever.
What's
like, Yahoo Voice?
Joseph said Yahoo.
Yeah, I always say Yahoo.
Yahoo.
Yahoo. But I'm just saying, no one knows what that is. No one goes to get their musical advice from Yahoo Voice, and we barely even know what it is.
They have a Grammy Award-winning producer making their new record.
Who is it?
The producer?
Quincy Jones?
No. Oh. Can you pull up the email?
Hang on. Okay, so the producer that they're going to be working with, Grammy Award-winning, is Stuart Lerman, who's done Sufjan Stevens, St. Vincent, and Regina Spektor.
Whoa. Yeah. And they're playing at a coffee shop.
Yeah, they're playing at a coffee shop down at Pike Place.
What coffee shop?
Oh, I'm not saying.
Oh, free advertisement.
Free advertisement.
Danny and I have gotten in the biggest fight we've ever had about advertisement.
I say
we'll talk about it another time.
Yeah, it's because we're in Eureka. I think that's why.
What's it called?
Eureka.
Yeah.
Anyway, so,
Eureka.
On this radio show, we're dedicated to the music scene, and we've had bands on, we've had people who've run labels, we've had people book shows. We've had people write about music, but there's one element of a music scene that, two elements of a music scene that's very, very, very important.
Oxygen and hydrogen.
You need one, coffee to fuel everybody through their creativity, and two, you need a public space where people can meet and hang out. And I'm really happy that those two things are combined in Analog Coffee, and we have the two co-owners, creators, founders. What does that say?
Those are all accurate.
So if you two can introduce yourself and what drink you prefer to make for yourself.
I'm Tim Hayden and started Analog Coffee with Danny next to me, and the other Danny, not the founder of this lovely podcast, co-founder, and different co-founder of Analog Coffee. I probably first thing I drink in the morning is a macchiato. I think the name is kind of stupid, but the drink's kind of good.
Yeah.
Danny?
I am the other Danny, Danny Hanlon, co-founder, co-owner of Analog Coffee. I also tend to drink macchiatos, but I also like a little mug of press in the morning too. That's nice.
Is that where you guys bonded over your love of macchiatos in the morning? And you were like, we should open a coffee shop.
Yeah, we just
Well, all right, that's the end of this week's episode.
cracked that nut.
Now, before we get to analog, let's go back a little bit. Tim, what's it like serving coffee in Georgia? Is it?
I got my start.
Research.
Danny has a team of investigators tracking you.
Put me on the spot. I did get my start. I grew up in Georgia. I got my start in the coffee shop, which we're not going to name.
What town was it?
It was in Athens, Georgia. It's where I went to college, at the University of Georgia. I'll name drop public university.
So many good bands.
A lot of good bands. It was a great place to go to college, and the shop they worked at was pretty shitty. You can curse on this on AM radio.
Fuck the FCC.
The FCC hasn't tuned to an AM radio station in years.
Yeah.
I heard them say the F word on 103.7. Fuck that F word on 103.7. 100% throwbacks.
When it was the mountain.
No, not the mountain.
I thought that was the call letters, like 103.7. But
F-U-C-K.
That's so much to jump on that. I worked in a pretty shitty coffee shop in Georgia, and I started working there when I didn't even like coffee. I didn't drink coffee, but
Do you remember the first time you drank coffee?
Yeah, I was
fucking
basically, I don't know. I was like slow into it. It's like the coffee wasn't good that we served, and I got it because I needed a part-time job. My girlfriend was getting a job there, and she basically kind of finagled her way into getting both of us a job there, and I got it because I thought it would help me sort of, I don't know, learn how to like talk to strangers and that sort of
chicks.
thing. Meet chicks. Yeah.
Even though he had a girlfriend.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Well, you don't know when
Nicole's views.
Yeah.
It's going to last forever. We're all young.
It's a revolving door in college.
Whoa. Hey.
Not for me, but that's what I've read about revolving door. Yeah. And yeah, it's a great, like regardless of the quality of the coffee, it's like a cool place to work, and everyone who hated the job there was like did cool things. A lot of people in bands, and I don't know. Yeah, it's fun. It's very different than being in Seattle, where people know more what they're doing.
So now, Danny, what made you decide to get a job at Tully's?
Well, Danny,
how'd you get all this research?
Just two Dannys.
Good.
Talking coffee.
this is just common knowledge. You
Is it?
know that about us?
Is it public record that
This
you
is
work
all
for
public
Tully's?
record.
He hacked his resume or
For a Seattle coffee company. So I had an older sister who had a job at that coffee company.
You have an older sister.
I
still
still
You
do.
have a younger
right?
She's still,
sister, too.
yeah.
She emancipated herself from the
Both of my sisters at one point worked for Tully's. I thought as a teenager it was a really cool job to make people coffee.
Yeah.
And in my late teens, I got a job at Tully's on the east side.
Did your sister kind of grease the wheels?
I don't think that was a factor. I think they were growing and hiring a lot, so there were many
Did you grow up?
low-paying jobs to be had.
Yeah, there's a saying
Yeah,
anyway.
no, pretty much.
Did you grow
Yeah,
up on the east side?
I did.
Oh, cool. Where
In
at?
Issaquah.
Issaquah. Cool. I lived in Issaquah for a long time. I'm
There you
from
go.
Carnation and Duval.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
Nice.
further out.
Yeah, just a
A
little bit.
little,
though.
yeah. More rural.
Whoa. Hey.
There's that.
Did you know that?
Anyway.
Are we gonna edit out that tension?
What tension was there? Wait, I don't understand what you're
Oh, it was just
Danny
me.
created
That was just me.
that
That was just me. So I thought that working behind the coffee bar seemed like a really fun job. You had to talk to people. It was like the closest you get as a teenager to being a bartender,
Yeah.
you know? And so I quickly became disenchanted with that model of a coffee shop. As soon as I really learned about coffee, I was like, oh, I actually don't like this. I don't like a lot of the customers I have to interact with. And that's not strictly true. And Tim probably had the same experience. Like, there's cool people and reasonable people who go into even crummy coffee shops.
Yeah.
But
Location. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
If you work across the street from a shitty coffee place,
Right.
sometimes that's your only choice.
that's
Yeah,
true.
of course.
And I eventually ended up at the Tully's that used to be at Pike and Broadway.
Oh, okay.
Right
Yeah.
across from
Yeah.
KFC. Which was
Luckily, it's a Starbucks.
yeah, luckily now it's a Starbucks.
Got that Tully's out of it.
But I used to like working at that shop because I had just moved to the city from the east side, and it felt like a really sort of gritty place to work.
Gritty
And,
over the edge.
yeah, and I got it
Remains
like
gritty,
I worked in the morning really early, and so the
some
only people
people's
up were
nights.
like people like waking up that had been sleeping outside, and the delivery trucks that go into KFC. But it was a cool place to just kind of stand and watch the whole city wake up and happen on that corner.
How did you end up at Verde?
Well, I think. Should we do it one more time? Or is that?
No, that's fine.
Okay, let's keep going. I had just moved to Seattle in 2005, and I got like a business degree in college and thought I would use it out here. And
Happy 10-year anniversary.
thank you.
When is it
thank you.
exactly?
It was
I'm sorry.
August.
Happy
Yeah,
August
no,
what?
I'm sorry.
I don't know.
My Seattle anniversary is August 9th. I was
Oh,
hoping
okay.
it would be the same day.
Really? No, it's somewhere around
It's
there.
Nagasaki Day for me.
That's August. Well, yeah, August 6th and then August 9th.
Yeah, I know the order.
Did you?
I moved to the area in August,
Really?
1986.
Whoa.
86?
You
Damn,
bet.
girl.
It's the end of summer.
Did you
Yeah.
see Nirvana?
All the time.
Were you in
Everybody
Smells Like
on
Teen
He and
Spirit?
Kurt Cobain
Yeah.
never spoke.
Yeah, sure. My nanny.
He was my name.
Yes, but- Ooh. Too
Moving
soon.
on.
Too soon.
The Verite, which it's more proper to call it Cupcake Royale, but they were trying to sort of brand it as both at the time.
Yeah, it used to be more of a dual.
Yeah, dual like coffee shop and cupcake shop. But anyways, and that's sort of what lured us into working there. So we thought
cupcakes?
we thought it'd be a coffee shop.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
it wasn't as much. That's fine, but
I've never been to it, so I don't know
Oh.
anything about
I
it.
used to
It's,
go to the one in Ballard when I first moved here.
that was
That's
the one that we
the one.
worked at.
That's the one.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Did you work there in August 2009? Because I was using that Wi-Fi so
No.
You're
hard.
hitting that hard.
No.
There was a guy that worked there that looked like the guy from Maroon 5, and I took his picture because the
would that
likeness
be?
to the guy from Maroon 5
What
was
is this
like.
Did you ask
Pat?
permission?
Yeah, that's weird.
Did you ask permission?
Did you show like a comparison, like side
No,
by side?
just to me and my
Is
friend.
that
Okay.
Adam Levine?
Adam Levine, you
Yeah,
got it.
Right.
So you,
Proactive spokesperson.
so you took a picture of someone to laugh at him with your friends?
Not to laugh, to marvel at his.
Yeah.
That's still
Likeness.
not.
To mock.
I don't know.
Yeah. And God.
Okay, well, okay.
This podcast is taking a weird
I can't
turn.
think of who that would be.
He looked like
So-
Adam Levine.
Okay.
I don't know.
So, anyways, what was it about like you two that you decided like, okay, we're different than everyone else who's working here?
We had we had a really similar work ethic when we were there. We
strong. It's a strong word.
Strong.
yeah,
Yeah,
right.
very
Not
hard.
poor, but good.
Yeah.
A strong, good work ethic. We had a lot of ideas about how we could make our workplace better in terms of our enjoyment while we were at work and make better coffee. Unfortunately, those views weren't shared by the management of the establishment, which we found to be very frustrating. But in our own way, in a sort of very nerdy way, that was our first introduction to working out the problems of a coffee shop or
Yeah.
or brainstorming how to make a business run smoother. We literally met outside of work and brainstormed ideas to improve the shop, which we had
And we
no
weren't
stake in.
managers or
No-
anything.
no
we had no
stake.
control over
Very
any
low
of this.
pay and very low job satisfaction, but we tried to make it better.
Did you get free cupcakes?
Yeah, oh,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
So now, at what point was it like gone between like, okay, we're talking about ways to improve this. Let's actually like do this. Like, what was like the tipping point?
There was a big break in between.
Yeah.
I mean, we worked together for 6 months, maybe. We didn't work together for very long.
Yeah.
Okay.
Less-
And neither of us worked there for even a year. But we made a lot of close friends there. And we kind of split off.
Yeah.
I went on to work at Herkimer and then manage Herkimer, and Danny
I went on a trip.
went on a big trip.
Long trip.
A long, strange trip?
It's pretty strange.
Yeah, depending on who you talk to,
sometimes,
sure.
So
that one?
you came back with long hair and a beard. And you're like,
Yeah, right.
You saw Jerry when you were gone, man.
Danny went to the desert.
Yeah.
Came back.
Jerry was there.
Vision.
I was on the playa. No, asking.
So you're on the Sky Channel. and
Yeah,
you see.
of course.
You see Jerry Garcia and you
Was
see
it so-
him drinking a cup of coffee.
Yeah, in a sweat
And
lodge.
he says, Go back to Analog.
Go back,
man.
find Tim. Find Tim, man.
Find
He
Tim.
needs you, man.
So what was it that brought you, like, made you to actually decide to do it?
The idea was sort of formed at that time. So, and to go back even further to a gap in your research,
Whoa.
I worked
Danny versus
at
Danny.
a coffee shop on campus of UW called Parnassus.
Oh,
And I had in the art building.
Yeah.
And it was student run, which went back and forth between being a great idea and a terrible idea. But when I was there, I worked
In
with...
finals, no one was working.
Yeah, the hours were very flexible. So when I was there, I worked with a woman who was really driven to make that place succeed, and she was like a art major, business major, and she was great about actually getting the orders right and scheduling in an efficient way and holding people accountable for what they're doing. And then my part of it was that I was super serious about the coffee and really into it. And in a lot of ways, that was like we were playing like coffee shop owners because we had full support from the university or from the School of Art to just run it however we wanted to run it.
So do they serve Tully's there? Because was it for a while?
No.
There's only Tully's on campus.
Yeah. So
How did they get out of it? How did you guys get out of that?
we operated. There were 2 cafes on campus that operated outside of Housing Food Services.
Okay.
And there was one in the architecture school called Design Coffee, and then the other one was Parnassus. And then Design Coffee fell, and they were absorbed. And then eventually Parnassus was absorbed because it was basically run into the ground.
And then Starbucks took over.
Yeah, I believe they got that contract.
Yeah.
So you're welcome to Starbucks for that plug.
Oh, because they fucking need them. Because we will have any influence.
Well, they don't buy any AM radio spots.
I would
these
love
days.
if a listener's like Starbucks. Maybe
What's
I'll try
that?
it
No,
out.
yeah, I
Write
should
that down
check
on my
that out.
coffee shop list.
This is a cool podcast.
I see them everywhere.
I thought you were
Accidents on
against the
Purpose endorses Starbucks.
You're endorsing.
Also, try
I'm not
Coca-Cola.
endorsing. I'm just saying us talking about it won't influence their sales in any way, shape, or form.
Then why can't we talk about that band that
That's
you?
probably
Fine, they're called the Accidentals.
I'm like,
No.
Oh, they want to be on the podcast
You don't know.
Oh shit! My mom
because
loves
the
them.
they
name
did write that.
because the name works out.
I don't know. I mean,
They did write
I don't
that.
know how they.
They're like Accidents on Purpose. This is perfect for us.
They made a joke, but yeah, like they said that can we come by the studio?
Quote, felt like I should reach out to Accidents on Purpose because of your name. ... Haha.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, they're called the
It's like
Accidentals. Don't
like a
believe it.
meet
Fuck
cute
that band.
kind of
No.
thing. Yeah.
Enough about that.
But no, wait. Speaking about like weird
Why are you
things
so
with
angry?
Starbucks,
Here's your fucking plug.
there was this crazy lady.
Danny and I have a bit of this in our dynamic, where
Maybe it's the
sometimes
name.
things go up to the next level.
They
Danny
go-
and Danny?
Yeah.
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 It's
It's a healthy
it's
competition.
A Danny feedback
Yeah, it's a
group.
Danny feedback.
Have you guys seen Muppet Christmas Carol?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, with you last Thanksgiving.
We all did with you.
It's a Thanksgiving tradition in my home, but in Muppet Christmas Carol, they musicalize the Scrooge and Charles Dickens story. And there's a song called Marley and Marley.
Yeah.
We're Marley and Marley.
Yeah, it's good.
And that's
With
when
the
you said
chains and the
Danny and
ghosts and-
Danny.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
exactly what
Oh,
I
we should
thought
do
of. You
that.
guys in
Sure.
chains.
Is there some sort of a pageant
Damn to
that we
hell.
could do that in?
Yeah. Because everyone will think it's.
I like do the rats. The rats get a lot of screen time in that.
Oh,
Rizzo?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really
He
good.
fucking crushes it.
Yeah, I love it.
Michael Caine's best work, I think.
Jaws 4. Thank you very much.
He did
Still John.
The shark goes to Jamaica to get revenge.
get rid of him, yeah. He does say, he's like, yeah,
And a
I've never
little,
seen the
like-
movie, but I've seen the house that I built. That's what he says about
That's
it.
pretty good.
Whoa.
I was going to say something about Starbucks, but we're too off topic.
Okay.
So,
Danny and Danny.
not to take over your podcast. Can I?
We want the guests
yeah.
to talk. We decided that
Yeah.
a while ago.
So that was my first introduction to like being in control of a coffee shop, feeling like I could tailor it to how I wanted to set it up. And we had the opportunity to renovate it partway, and I had met this guy Scott Richardson, who was delivering coffee for Cafe Vita at the time, and he was our main delivery driver and like service tech. And I think at the time he was roasting, but he basically taught me how to take apart an espresso machine, put it back together, work on all the stuff. Cool. And so during this process of renovating the cafe, I learned a lot about the equipment and the necessary plumbing and electrical.
The nuts and bolts.
Exactly. So it was super valuable to me, and I was really interested to learn it. And then Cupcake Royale was actually an account of ours at Parnassus, and that was my in. And I knew the manager because I'd been emailing her about orders. And so I asked if they were hiring, and then Tim and I met there.
Just when you were upping the order or reducing the order, you asked, "Are you also hiring?"
Right.
Sort of strange.
So one thing that pisses me off about a lot of people is that they
the Danny Newton
Is this a
story.
segment?
no, sometimes,
one angry man.
No, sometimes people will go into a coffee shop or something and they'll be like, yeah, one day I would just love to do this, just to give up this job that I have and I'll just open a coffee shop. And they think it's an easy thing to do.
I was about to say that.
Oh, sorry.
The subtext is because it would be so easy and fun.
Yeah, and it's just I'll just give up the care, all the cares.
There's no stress.
And they say the same things about bookstores. They say the same things about record stores. And it's fuck you. This is
a real job.
This is a real job. We do work. And and it's obviously you two, that wasn't it. It was you two just knew what you wanted to do. You wanted to make the best coffee shop to work at, and maybe to go to. It seems
Tim was a trial lawyer, and I was
I was an
investment banker.
You wanted to quit your stressful jobs making coffee to make coffee.
And I hate that. I hate that attitude, and it's just really annoying. That means am I wrong that
that literally happens.
We encounter it a lot.
Yeah.
It's but for us it was when we opened as a calculated risk. We knew people working in other coffee shops, especially for myself working at Herkimer as a roaster, they get people all the time wanting to carry their coffee and wanting to start a shop. And for the most part, it's people who've never worked in coffee before who want to start a coffee shop, and so they don't have a realistic idea of what it takes and hours you have to put in and all that.
And I would add to that even it's common for people in coffee to want to open up their own shop.
Oh yeah.
And we had friends that had gone through that process, and we'd seen them fail and some people be successful. And so it was important to us that we had everything lined up to a point where we knew it was a sure thing.
How long did you plan it before you actually opened?
It's probably 2 to 3 years.
Really?
Of meeting on a regular, meeting on a weekly basis.
Right.
Because we opened about 5 to 6 years after we met.
Yeah.
And so a couple years in, we started.
It's probably 2008 that we started meeting on a regular basis.
We both had other coffee jobs. I managed a bakery. Tim was at Herkimer.
Yeah, and we both liked our jobs. That was the weird thing. It's just that we knew that there's a ceiling on it. Mm-hmm. And ultimately, we were both working for other people's businesses. So while we had a lot of influence, it wasn't completely ours. And we knew that what we wanted to do didn't quite exist. I mean, friends all the time talk about opening up their favorite bar or whatever, that sort of thing. And so we just kept at it, and I think probably just tried to kind of make each other chicken out, but neither of us did. So
well, the other thing, and this isn't as I think much of an issue now as it was maybe 15 or 18 years ago, but people who just open up a coffee shop waiting to get bought out, they have the idea of I want to make this cool thing, make it kind of cool, and then just wait for someone to make me an offer and disappear. Where once again, that obviously isn't what you two did.
It's a great idea.
We're open to it. Hasn't happened yet.
Who would you want to buy you out?
Oh, it's not
Stumptown?
It's not who, but for how much? So
You could get Stumptown. You could get Vita.
Stumptown or its parent company.
Yeah, Pete's.
Yeah.
Pete's.
Stumptown isn't
or
Stumptown
Pete's
anymore.
parent company.
What's Pete's parent?
What is that?
That's a huge...
I think it's Johnson & Johnson.
Holding group that has interest in beverages throughout the world. Coffee and... Yeah.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
I didn't know Stumptown was owned by someone else.
They just
happened.
bought a week or two ago.
Yeah.
No, maybe I'm mistaken. It may be that Pete's is own by itself, but then the company that had invested was
Well,
sometime before.
Lucky for our listeners, Pete's is coming up next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. That's great.
We're having every coffee
Mr.
company
Pete.
ever.
Mr. Pete is
himself.
coming in.
Yeah,
Mr.
and
Pete.
And I'm like, dude, why is the T at the end? It's so stupid.
What's the deal? So Danny,
Tea first?
did you ever work in a coffee shop?
Was it a coffee and wine store by chance?
Hi, Nicole.
Hi Danny.
How you doing?
What was
How
that
you
coffee
doing?
shop called?
Yeah, I worked at several places.
Yeah. So you worked at the
I worked. You know what? Once I worked at a coffee stand that was in the courthouse of Cleveland,
Wow.
and it was funny because sometimes I would see people and they were like not happy that I saw them because they had to go to court for some reason.
That's pretty funny. It's not really what we were getting at, I don't think.
Did you work in that little coffee shop in the QFC building on Broadway and Mercer too?
What?
Oh, that was maybe your friend Henrico worked there.
Yeah.
What, you worked in another place in Cleveland, like a wine store
And a coffee shop.
And
What was
a
the place
coffee
called
shop.
again?
You know, you guys gotta do your research.
Was it Cork and Beans? Because I'm pretty sure it was Cork and Beans.
I can't believe you said that. Danny's gonna murder you.
Yeah. It was a great job.
We're gonna beep that out. We're gonna beep that out.
Gary's giving me the thumbs up, so I'm thinking that's
Cork and Beans. Gary's been with Danny
Got
a long
some
time.
wild stories about Cork and Beans.
No, it was a coffee shop in a wine
Oh,
store.
I get it.
Do you get it?
wow.
Yeah.
Joseph, have you ever worked in a coffee shop?
I have not, no.
But you have coffee at your place that you work now.
Yes?
Wait, where do you work now?
I work at Trader Joe's.
Oh, do you guys got any sales coming up?
No, we don't. We don't have sales.
Can you give me some coupons?
No, we don't have coupons.
Give me some coupons.
Okay, I'll make up coupons for you, and you can come in and
Some
they'll
people
pick you out.
who have been on this podcast consider Trader Joe's their favorite coffee shop because
Oh,
they
that's
can
true. That has been said.
they
not by
can
By his
go in.
ex-girlfriend?
Yeah, by Hillary, your ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, that's fun.
We can
I
be-
said Cork and Beans. Yeah, fair play.
Seems like you left on good terms. She likes Trader Joe's.
Because of coffee samples?
Well,
well,
because
there's
it's
the little
free.
carafe in the back.
Sure.
Oh.
One
And
can
also,
bring in-
for employees, you can get free coffee all
yeah,
day.
Oh, sure.
but
But they have like those little samples, and people will come in with their mugs.
I've done it.
and
Wow,
just fill
travel
them up.
mugs.
Wow.
We
I've
don't
done
say
it.
anything.
Yeah.
We're just like, oh, that's not for that. And
It's really, that's
it was actually
diminishing returns on confronting people about stealing.
yeah, I mean, when you're offering something for free, that's
In
technically
general.
your
Policy? We need to talk about that.
Edit that out.
did they steal
I'm gonna
from
edit
you?
that out.
Wait a minute.
Besides your time.
papers, newspapers.
That would be hard.
They're just
Napkins?
hanging up,
Napkins?
waiting to be stolen.
Napkins, sure.
That water and that
Sure,
beautiful
toilet paper if you bring like a
Cream
backpack
theft.
into the bathroom.
cream theft.
Cream theft. Cream abuse.
Wait, I don't know if we're there yet, but whose
Yeah.
idea was it to put comics out?
That kind of happened naturally in the shop. It was we always want to have reading material out, and it's sort of it's our idea to put up a sort of bar in the wall that we can clip newspapers, periodicals, and then early on we had a colorful customer.
You have to say his name.
Who is it?
This is going to be the most bleeps we've ever done.
No, you have to
No,
say his name
no,
because
His name's Jefferson.
he's an institution.
Oh,
He is an
Jefferson,
institution.
yeah. I know
He's
Jefferson,
president.
yeah.
Wait, no, he's not a president? No, he was a president.
Of
I would
what?
call him
Thomas Jefferson?
Thomas Jefferson a president?
Yes.
Okay, it was. I wasn't sure if he was the one who wasn't, or...
Well, we call
I
him
think of Ben
Ben
Franklin.
Ben Franklin,
Franklin.
dog. He's on
Yeah.
Mundo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jefferson didn't invent
All right, take
anything.
it
He's just
easy.
the president. Yeah.
You have a
Actually,
boner for Ben
Jefferson
Franklin.
did invent some things.
What did he invent?
Well, one of the things he invented was he
Adultery.
Oh, yeah, the first one.
Yeah,
Take
he,
that.
he invented that. No, he had a
High
thing.
five.
He invented the swivel chair.
Oh,
And
the one with
yeah.
with
Wait,
the
is that
Like,
screw?
like spinning around in a circle.
Is that true? Well, I'll do it right now.
Like a piano stool that
Thank you,
keeps going
Jefferson.
higher and higher?
No,
Or
no, just like a chair that you could spin
like
around.
a ball bearing.
Yeah, ball bearing. And then he had a thing where he had a pen that was connected to another pen, so he could make
Oh.
copies of all his letters and notes.
A ditto machine.
Basically, what it was,
Wow.
yeah.
Making dittos.
So he everything that he wrote, he had a copy of. So when he mailed his letters, he had his own copy of it.
That's brilliant.
Anywho, Jefferson.
You should be president.
I love Jefferson.
Oh, yeah, so...
He used to come into my coffee
Yeah,
shop.
Jefferson's great.
He drinks coffee all over goddamn town.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah, he does. And he was an early supporter of ours. And
Very, very early.
when we had our little pop-up before we had the shop. And at some point he asked if he had some extra comics. He asked if he could bring them in, like, to put on our coffee table for customers to read. And
it was I think the first thing we had out was a series of Batman that was written by Grant Morrison.
Nice. That's a good run.
And he's a big Grant Morrison fan, so that was like the first thing. And we were like, yeah, that's cool. Like, a customer has an idea for something people might be interested in.
Mm-hmm.
People were really interested in it, and then it kept growing. And then when we hired Aiden Fitzgerald, who
a former Accidents on Purpose,
accident
client, what do you call him?
Client?
Guest.
Yeah.
He hired us.
He had
podcast.
He had worked for Fantagraphics and is an illustrator and comic artist, so he kind of brought an independent
sensibility,
and influence to the collection.
Yeah.
So does anyone ever try to like unload crap on you? Like,
all the time.
All the time.
Like National Geographics and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
literally,
actually
we
well,
did.
that was early on. We still have like a stack of National Geographics from like the 90s or 80s that someone donated.
Years.
Yeah.
But
Sweet.
God.
But they pulled all the maps out.
Oh, well, fuck that then.
but yeah, I mean, for the most part, we try not to accept stuff unless it's like, real quality.
Is there anything like really bizarre that people try to unload?
How bizarre.
How bizarre.
We had a really interesting.
Don't encourage her.
We had a really interesting experience recently with. I think actually one of the employees sort of handled this, but there's like a feminist comic that's called Bloody Pussy.
Bloody Pussy. Yeah.
We had them.
We had the publishers.
Cool. Okay, so I had never heard of it.
Yeah.
But this woman came in.
No, they brought him when I was working.
You were there.
Yeah.
Okay, Tim should tell the story because I just got it secondhand.
Well,
you look like you're getting a little red, Danny.
Well, it's called Bloody Pussy. I don't. That doesn't come up.
You're not allowed to say that on air.
It's a feminist rag.
Oh, so you're.
Good.
Is that what it's called?
That's the subtitle.
I think that's the tagline.
Yeah, that's the subtitle.
Yeah.
That's a high five you just heard.
Color commentator by Tim here.
What was weird was Joseph high-fived himself.
It's a lot like clapping. It wasn't that satisfying.
Yeah, it's like a FX studio. I was working with someone, and this lady came in and was, holding like a newspaper kind of thing, and was asking one of my coworkers about it, and she's like, "Oh, I think maybe you should talk to Tim." And so this very nice lady was like, "Hey, I got this sort of like independent kind of comic zine thing," and she's like, "I know it's kind of racy. I don't know if it's kind of your if you want to have it here, but I wanted to like offer and see if you guys want to stock it or keep it here." And I was like, "Well, yeah." It's like, "Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Let me see it." And then she showed me the cover, this thing called Bloody Pussy, and it's I mean, the cover itself's pretty graphic, but immediately I was like, "Oh, I see what you're I see what you're saying."
And she knew that.
And she knew that would be like the reaction
that we like would want.
Yeah, and I was like, on principle, like I'm kind of like interested in like keeping this here, but I was like, you got to understand that it maybe it wouldn't fly. It's like I need to discuss it with a couple people, and then Danny and I talked about it, and it's like cool,
a lot
but
of
it's also
kids
a lot of
that come
kids
in
and
like your kids.
Like my kids. It's specifically my
What does
kids.
Francis think about
yeah,
it?
that's not something you read to him before going to bed.
So no shit. I told her to go to your place.
Whoa!
I'm not
There
even
we
joking.
go.
'Cause
That's
she
cool.
came into my
That's
record
great.
store with a few, and she was like, "Hey, do you think it'd be okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure. I'll put that out."
Yeah,
and then we were talking for a minute, and she was like, "Yeah." So I was trying to think of other places I could go to drop this off. I'm like, "Oh, I would take it to Analog." I didn't even think about
That's
that.
incredible.
I didn't even think about that. My sensibilities about like what is acceptable.
Oh, it's fine.
Is wrong.
Well,
like I don't know.
Well,
what's
we
acceptable.
tried to push some of that stuff.
But no, you're right. Like,
Yeah.
it's like a whole bunch of like Batman comics, and then the cover Bloody Pussy. If you have,
What is it?
There's
Is it
already-
just,
It's like
labia? Are there
what?
labia involved?
No, it's mostly
Only
boobies.
labia.
There's a lot of boobies.
Don't say boobies ever again.
I agree with you, Nicole.
Do
I didn't
not
like hearing
I
that.
ever,
think for me,
ever
the
say
gestures that went along with the word
Thank
boobies.
God this is not a video.
Uncle Danny You are not allowed to say that.
So we've said Cork and Beans and Uncle Danny in this episode.
God.
We're gonna have a real harsh
going
meeting
like
after
this.
this.
Tatas?
Oh my God. That's much better. That's fine. Oh my God.
Boom, baby.
So my cell phone, I dropped it in dog shit last week, and, and I tried to, I doused it in.
Gasoline?
No,
Yeah,
I doused it in hand sanitizer because that's all I had on me at the time.
That's strange.
And I thought the alcohol would help absorb the moisture, and then my phone froze.
no, that's
Not a property of alcohol.
Then my phone
not a
froze the other
property
day because of all the
of
moisture that got in it. And then I stuck it in rice, but then the rice got stuck in the USB charger or the whatever.
Is this an episode of Mr. Bean?
Yeah.
Anyway, listen, this is about censorship. So I took it to this.
Oh my God.
I can't wait to hear how this is about
Stories.
censorship.
Circle
So I
around.
took it to this place in South Lake Union to get my phone fixed, and there was rice stuck in the charging port, and there
Dog
was shit
went in.
under
Right.
the screen,
Smells
and I
like
cracked
shit.
the screen trying to fix the shit, and they had this big wall with all these little post-it notes on it that said, you know, all the wacky reasons people broke their phone. One of them was like, gave it to a meth dealer to hold. One of it was like, had sex on top of it. Some racy, inappropriate, and like, I don't know, illicit shit. So I wrote, drop my phone in dog shit, because I thought that was so funny. And I left for 20 minutes to go get a cup of coffee. Not an analog, sorry.
You were in South Lake Union.
Why don't you guys open a South Lake Union branch?
Yeah, just wait. We're maybe inside a cell phone store soon.
And then I went back and my post-it was gone. They had taken it down, and the guy said, I was like, oh, I just wrote a thing about what happened to my phone. He's like, oh, yeah, I had to take it down because kids come in here.
Whoa.
Because of the word shit. And they had meth dealers, and I had sex on my phone.
Oh yeah, that is a good point.
Yeah.
Up
That's
there.
weird.
No, fuck those people.
Yeah.
Censorship.
Yeah. That's
Why
why
are you
that's why
guys in cahoots with this iPhone?
No, I'm on your side about the bloody pussy thing, but the dog shit thing.
I'm not surprised, Joseph.
Well, there's boobies on it.
Why are kids buying cell phones?
Oh.
Is that
Good question.
Whoa.
Good question.
That's the
I don't
root.
know.
Yeah, we serve 4-year-olds coffee all the time.
Oh, all the
but
time.
I would
Give
not
us
sell them
I
a
would
cell
never.
phone.
Don't be ever
Get him hooked young.
Yeah.
So I was like a couple weeks ago. I was on a bus coming back from Wenatchee, and there was two.
As you are wont to do.
As I'm on-
Oh.
Bus plug.
This- yeah.
Bus
Wait.
plug.
But there was.
What bus company was it, Uncle
Bus
Danny?
plug.
Oh God.
That's the name of this podcast.
Yeah.
But there was like I couldn't figure out the exact relationship, but like a woman who's like probably like in her like early 20s with 2 kids, and then like it wasn't a
She's
sister.
probably their mother.
No, but so then there was like
Funny
a
call.
sister or friend. I couldn't figure out because they kept saying things like your dad. But they were acting like sisters, and but they grew. I don't know, it was just really weird. But anyways, they were. There was probably like the one was probably 3, and the other one was probably 5, and they were letting them drink those like Starbucks mocha like in a glass bottle.
Oh,
things
okay,
in the
yeah.
grocery store.
Frappuccinos.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, they're fucking kids, and they're just letting them drink it. And I was like, holy shit.
Sometimes
shit.
kids will come into Trader Joe's after school, and if we don't catch them, they'll get a free coffee
Wow.
sample.
How
and,
old are
run
they?
out with it.
That's
Burn themselves.
kids. Okay, that's kids like being, like rapscallions.
Yeah.
But
Whoa,
this is
what?
like parents like
No,
This is
kidding.
consensual. Yeah.
Yeah.
That might have actually been my first coffee. Now that you mention it, I remembering having one of those in high school. It's delicious.
It was delicious.
Let's
are
all have
delicious.
one. Why didn't we bring?
I'm
Why
drinking
We're
one right
drinking
now.
coffee.
Yeah.
why are we-
Okay, speaking of Frappuccino, what are some of like the weirdest things people have tried to order? Because first off, for our listeners who haven't gone to Analog, you have a very simple menu. It's one of the reasons I really like you guys. It's a very just bare bones, just what you need.
No bullshit.
No fucking,
No sugar-free vanilla.
you don't have syrup at all.
We
Vanilla
Vanilla
and
have
chocolate.
vanilla chocolate, which we make it.
Well, chocolate
Yeah.
cakes I don't
Ourselves.
consider. I mean,
I
guess
support
you put
vanilla
that
and
on
chocolate.
everything.
Some people say that's a sauce.
Yeah.
only on popcorn
Sure.
and rice.
Yeah, popcorn and
Danny,
yeah,
you have a favorite
chocolate
coffee
rice.
drink. I wonder if they would make it for you.
Oh, well, that's not what I'm talking about.
Edit it out. All right.
The cork and beans.
Hey.
Oh, for
I didn't say it. Don't look at me. Look at your other co-host.
I said it.
But so yeah, you have like a very basic, bare bones menu. So what is some of like the weirdest, dumbest shit that people try to order? Like Red Bull? Does people try to buy Monster drinks from you?
Is there a lot of shot in the dark?
Never happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a few shot in the darks a day.
Yeah.
I don't know what is a shot in the dark.
It's a
Espresso
and drip coffee.
in a
Oh,
coffee.
that's fine. That's
So
fine.
Yeah, it's not
Look, I'm just spitballing
It's
here.
it's a little intense, but
Well,
it's
stop spitballing.
Yeah, it's
I'm
not
spitballing.
That's just. Yeah, that's.
we occasionally get requests for blended drinks, and that's something that's like never
Like a
ever,
Starbucks
ever gonna
type
happen.
thing?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Do you do pumpkin spice coffee? Things?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Thank you.
No.
Yeah, we stay out of the seasonal stuff.
I don't think white chocolate should have ever been a thing.
Yeah.
A lot of requests for that, mostly from
We'll have
construction
to
workers.
bleep that out later.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm getting like 5 of these. Can you make like 4 of them white chocolates?
yeah. Construction workers drink
Yeah.
pretty crazy, like lots of extra
Yeah.
shots, lots of sugar.
Yeah.
They're
Weird.
outside. They're
Yeah,
cold.
they need
They're
the
working
energy.
hard.
They're drinking their meals.
Yeah.
They're drinking the
No,
meals.
there's a construction.
They
site
also-
at work.
yeah, they
fucking
also-
eat, like 10
they
bags
take
of potato
breaks
chips
for-
and, like,
They
But
eat,
they're also,
they
like-
eat and drink their meals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
just
working
like
hard
us.
for that.
I see.
Give them the sandwich. Give them the white chocolate mocha. They want.
Nicole, no, have them eat healthy. They'll feel better and have more energy to work
Yeah, true.
harder. What are you doing? You're a terrible rights activist for construction.
I think
workers.
people have the right of their own body to decide.
I mean,
what
I
to
do
with their
too.
own
I'm just
body.
saying, like, why would you want to? Anyway, let's not.
Well,
get into that.
we're not going to enable anyone to have a
Okay,
6-shot white chocolate mocha.
on like the other end, what, like, do you get distributors coming in being like, "Hey, this is the product you need to be stocking"?
Kind of. I mean, as like a business, I think something Danny and I have been surprised about is the amount of sort of offers and businesses that try to solicit our business. Just and mostly through email these days, which is kind of nice.
So not
Just
like
that you can
sales
ignore
You
it.
literally just ignore it. It's great.
Yeah, it's rarely people come in
Or you
trying
can
to sell
forward it to
shit.
accentsonpurpose@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Access on Purpose Podcast at gmail.com.
Oh, wait. What was like the first day that you opened the shop like? Were you really nervous? Like no one came.
pop-up first though.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
so-
saying the actual shop,
Yeah, that was
not the pop. The shop.
June 2000.
Was the first person to come in and did they ask for change? Was that like the first?
No, we had a little line. It
No,
was
but I
seriously-
think one
yeah.
of my friends was my friend Jordan was potentially like the first customer.
Well, that's at the pop-up.
But at the shop too, he came on the
Oh,
first
really?
day, but he didn't bring any money. Like both times,
yeah.
he didn't bring any money.
That's awesome.
Not a good
Yeah.
friend.
And,
No, that's the-
and our
that's the
friend,
best
our
friend.
friend Christina, she was the first customer. So we have $2 bills up. You know, our first $2 bills. Those are both her dollar bills.
Yeah, that's true.
So she was one of our really good friends, was our first customer at Pop Up, and then maybe one of our neighbors from across the street, maybe Michael Bates.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
one of
goodness.
your old coworkers.
Michael Bates. I have a
Yeah.
picture from Michael Bates is a former barista,
Coffee legend.
yeah, coffee legend, and then became a bartender,
Bartender legend.
A bartender legend. Legendary worker.
So Michael Bates and I used to work every Saturday morning together at Vivace, another plug. And Tim and Danny used to come in and get macchiatos. They love those drinks. And
That's
it
true.
was kind of when I was first starting out and I wasn't that good at making milk or making latte art. And I used to get so nervous when you guys came in at like 6:45 on Saturday mornings.
Yeah,
before
because you
went to Analog.
guys opened before we did.
Yeah,
didn't-
and I would
it didn't
beg
show.
Michael to
It didn't
like,
show.
I would be like, Michael, please make their drinks.
She
I'm
handled
so
herself
nervous.
like a pro.
I was so nervous in front
I
of you
didn't
guys
know.
because I knew you guys were so great. You were opening Analog.
Because I remember when you guys were working on the store. It was right when Jason and I were opening up Spin Cycle.
Yeah.
And
Another
it was
plug.
funny because plug for the store that I work at. But he used to live down the block from you, and we'd walk by and we'd hear like the circular saw, and like that was the same shit we were dealing with, and we were like really excited. Like I don't know, we felt even before you opened, we felt like
kinship.
a kinship with
Yeah,
you.
for sure.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember the first? So you guys play a lot of records at your coffee shop. My favorite record that I ever heard there was a Shangri-La's one.
Ooh.
Oh,
very
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Is that one of yours?
You were playing it. I
Oh,
think.
okay. It's
Thank
not
you,
my
Tim.
record, but yeah, I play Shangri-La's. I love them.
Do you guys remember the first record from Spin Cycle that you bought for Analog Coffee?
That's a good question.
Great question.
Good thing I'm here. Asking the important
I know
question.
for the first time they enjoyed a question.
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
I don't
Can you
remember
recall
buying.
any
Well, I
Spin
remember.
Cycle records?
yeah.
In the
can
beginning,
recall
it was a lot
yeah.
of used stuff, right?
Yeah.
So it must have been something used.
I mean, I can say that one of my favorite records that I own, I got from Spin Cycle, which is Go Between's record from the 80s.
cool.
Liberty Bell and the Black Diamond Express.
Cool.
Go Between's one of my favorite one of my favorite bands, and it's really hard to find their records used in person.
Cool.
Outside of the internet. And it's the only time I've seen one, especially, and it was like a reasonable price.
Awesome. Good job, Spin Cycle.
It was like I think I
Again, that name is.
I think I told Jason at the time, and he's like, "Oh, cool." And I was like, "No, it's like you don't understand."
No, it's really cool.
No, it's really cool.
Sounds like Jason.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So I went on Yelp to try to find some like funny reviews or something that would be a good joke, but I couldn't really find anything.
Why do you hate dogs?
Oh yeah. Also, there's like a lot of things that are like trying to escape the digital world, like go to analog.
Hey.
Best joke.
Yeah, what's the worst?
A lot of the
maybe?
digital like jokes. in there.
Yeah.
Well, that's the only joke is.
Yeah.
What about digital coffee?
Yeah.
That's the whole.
And
That's
they're
the
like,
whole joke.
they use a record player. It's truly analog, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
It's not that. I mean, record players are awesome. I don't know.
Yeah.
They're really fixated on certain. things.
That's funny because like the name was like the last thing we came up with, and the rest of the shop we had ideas for, and
Wait. What were some of the other potential shortlist names?
well, I don't know.
Danny's Dream.
We could say Danny's Dream.
I only remember the joke ones.
Yeah, we have a lot of. We still have like a long list if
Yeah.
we ever like do something
Was
else.
Dutch
but-
Bros one of them?
I love Dutch Bros.
Have you ever gone to Dutch Bros?
No.
My
I'm
favorite
familiar
coffee
with
shop
it, though.
in the
With
country.
the windmills?
Okay, wait. So over the summer, Nicole and I and a few other people, we drove down to the Bay Area, and we kept seeing Dutch Bros, and they looked like
They
bullshit.
had beautiful neon signs with windmills.
No.
It was so majestic looking. We had to go.
Are there
And so-
some in Oregon?
Yeah.
Okay, I've seen them. Yeah.
And then in California too. So we spent the night in Eureka. Me and Nicole got into a big fight.
Big fight.
Big fight.
About advertising.
About
Kind
advertising.
of.
The next morning, we
Legendary.
took some pictures of some TVs and some garbage cans.
As a way to make amends.
Yeah. But then Nicole was like, "We have to go to Dutch Bros." Do you want to tell the story? Or do you want me to?
Keep going.
Okay.
I'll chime in.
And so Nicole's like, "Okay, we have to go to Dutch Bros before we leave. We just have to do it." And so
The sign was so beautiful.
and it was like right across the street from our hotel. And so we're in line to go, and there's like some people are just like standing in line.
It's only
And
a drive-through.
It's only a
place.
drive up, yeah. But so there's cars, but then there's some people just standing
In between the cars.
in between the cars. And like we get to like we get up close to it, and it is like basically a rave going on in there. They're like blasting.
They're blasting Katy Perry and like Iggy Azalea. They're all
everyone's,
17.
like, dancing. Yeah,
they're
all
all
have, like-
having the best summer of their lives. They're in high school.
Like their shirts
That's
are tied
great.
into knots to show off
Perfect.
their
Oh my
mid
God.
range.
They're all wearing Dutch Bros
That reminds me of the
paraphernalia.
early days of analog.
Totally.
But then like one of them was like, "Oh my god!" Like what was the name? Brian or Tim?
No,
or
it was like
One of the
Chad.
One of the
Chad.
douchebags.
it was like Chip
Yeah.
or something.
Something like,
Just say it's
no,
Chad.
It was something. It wasn't Chip. It wasn't that bad.
We ordered 4 coffees, and one person wanted, I don't know, we all got iced coffees, and she was like, "Excellent!
Awesome,
more iced
yeah.
coffees!
And then she's like, "Oh my god, fucking, Jared's coming!" And she said to her like coworkers, like, "Oh, Jared!" And Nicole's like, "Oh my god, who's Jared? We want to meet Jared!" And we all turn around, and there was a car.
Jared's right behind us.
There's a car, but then there was like a homeless guy that looked like Alan Moore, and I was like, "Oh my god, I hope it's not him." And she's like, "You guys want to meet Jared? Awesome!" But then it turned out it was just a dude who worked at another one.
Yeah,
And
another
so,
Dutch
so he
Bros.
came up and he's like, "What's up, guys?" And we're like, "Jared, how you doing?" And like, I was like in the passenger seat, just like pissed off.
And I
Nicole
was
loving
laughing.
it.
I was peeing my pants. Oh my god, I was
It
having
sounds
such a good
great.
time.
I wish
That's
I was
really
there.
great, actually.
His name wasn't Jared, but the way she said something like, "Jared's so fly."
Oh, that's exactly what she said. But I was really thought it was
Wow.
going to be that
That's
guy.
incredible.
Dutch Bros and the coffee, the iced coffee we got, 4 large iced coffees, reasonable price, pretty okay.
Just
and
fine.
I had a good time. I laughed before 8 in the morning.
That is
good.
a full plug. That is.
More than you say about analog.
You're
No.
right.
Oh, Nicole was one of our early customers.
She was.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot.
I've had some good times at Analog.
Say no more, yeah.
One time was the holiday party that y'all had.
Oh, sure.
Oh, geez.
And I flirted with one of your sisters. I
Oh.
won't say which one.
Okay.
And your
Got an
mom
idea.
your mom made the most amazing Chex Mix I've.
It was good.
Chex Mix is
I
Yeah,
mean,
it was
like
good.
my
Yeah,
friends
she
and I
was
talk
trying
about
lemonade,
it.
yeah.
We still talk about it.
Whoa.
I saw Chex Mix at Gross Out today, and I thought of your mom, and
That's
I was like,
awesome.
I'm not buying this.
I'll tell her. Or she might listen.
Oh my god,
She was excited to hear we were going on a podcast.
she's great.
She'll
She
make
makes-
you some. If
She
not,
makes the best
Yeah.
Chex Mix. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
you're gonna get a bunch in the mail.
Oh
now.
my god.
I mean, I'm sorry. She was excited to hear that we were going on an
AM radio. I
show.
mean, just like
Well, we
the
do a
olden days.
podcast too. but
Yeah,
we're
we-
Oh,
predominantly-
sure.
Yeah.
For
yeah.
people
Once
outside
you
the
record
puberty.
the radio
Also,
show,
like,
you might
you
as
can
well
now
put it
find
on
us
the
on
web.
Stitcher if that means absolutely anything to anybody.
I don't know what it
We
means.
signed up for it,
is
but
that
I
a-
hardly know her.
Is
no.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
is that for knitting
You said
enthusiasts?
boob.
No, it's like an app you can listen to podcasts through, but
Sure.
I don't know who has
You
it.
said
but-
Wait, so
boobies.
speaking-
My mom listens to this podcast.
Speaking of
You repeated it.
Wait, you said on a podcast that you
Don't say it
what?
again.
Your
Don't
lips
say
are
it.
never sealed.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. Was that
My
on
mom quotes that joke that I made that was
Oh.
extremely inappropriate.
Well, I think it's time you tell
I
Danny.
didn't hear that
too.
episode.
I think it's time you tell Danny and Tim.
No, let's move on. But another
That'll work.
inappropriate story.
No, we're
Don't encourage his joke. He does that every time.
I ran into Danny at the co-op last week, Central Co-op at 16th and Madison.
That's right.
It was
God, you need to make some money off this episode.
it was about 11.
Just click and fucking accidental will fucking tweet you where to get the barcode to fucking do it.
Oh my god.
I was making dinner for my friend that night, and I had a bottle of wine and some other incidentals in my basket. And Danny commented on how I was buying some lunch wine at 11:30 in the morning. And I was really embarrassed, and I was so glad I was going to be on this podcast so I could explain that I was making dinner for someone later in the day, and that you and your daughter.
I'm just glad you had enough time to come up with a good enough
I
story.
know.
Yeah.
I think you worried too much.
It was
I do
lunch
worry
wine.
too
That's why
much.
she needs the lunch wine.
It was lunch wine.
Incidentals.
Wait, so speaking of mail, Nicole,
Oh.
I think you have something.
There is something really great in
Now it's time for
correspondence corner.
Now it's time for correspondence court.
There's a postcard that was supposed to be mailed to you on July 6th, 2015, but someone, me, was drinking
Okay.
too much lunch wine and forgot to send it.
So here.
But Danny and I, that road trip that we took to Dutch Bros
Hmm.
in Eureka.
well, you gotta read it to them.
Oh,
Read it
okay.
to read it on air.
I was gonna give it to them.
Read it to them.
It's a
then
live
give it to them.
postcard.
When Danny and I took our road trip, the first stop we made was Analog, as per all of our requests,
Yeah.
to get coffee for the road and to have good coffee for the road. My ex-girlfriend's brother threw this Grumpy Cafe postcard in my Christmas stocking this year.
yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah, I've been there, and I thought, oh, cool, we'll give it to the Analog guys.
Here it is.
Here it is, July 6th. Obviously, we didn't get this postcard in the... Obviously, we didn't get this postcard in the Bay on our most recent trip, but we've been saving it for a special someone for a while. Thanks for starting our road trip off right. Love, Danny, Nicole, Meg, and Rachel. And there's some little doodles on it that you can't really read over the air.
That's really sweet.
Mug with steam doodle,
Ooh!
heart doodle,
He
and
reads
a
doodles.
monster truck doodle.
Vroom.
It says vroom, and there are speed lines.
Oh, I thought it was farting.
Speed lights.
Oh, or it's
Speed
farting.
lights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boop.
Well, it's really nice.
Anyway.
It is addressed
Really get your
to
sense of
Danny and Andrew.
Andrew McKibben, shout out to him, was working that day. I love him. He's
Oh, got
Yeah.
it.
so
great.
wonderful.
Got it.
Tim, you weren't there, but you are the proprietor, so.
Owner
Yeah.
and operator.
We call him Hollywood.
I
Yeah.
love
He's-
Andrew so much.
So
great.
we're running out of time.
We're running out of time.
Really? We didn't even get to talk about anything yet.
But we have a very important question. If Universal Studios buys the rights to Analog, who is going to play each of you in the movie? And if you want to name any of your staff, which half of your staff has been on the podcast already. What they have?
Not Claire, not Andrew.
Well, they don't work there anymore.
Claire's ex-staff.
Andrew does.
Andrew is current staff.
Yeah.
Andrew? Fucking...
Andrew should be on the podcast.
He should be on. He's in a lot of bands.
Yeah,
What
Pleather.
bands is he in?
Stephanie.
Well, Stephanie's not really around. Stephanie's not really around.
But he has he and
moved
her
to-
they have
yeah.
a label.
Yeah, Stephanie's not around anymore.
What's his
Couple
label?
skate.
He was-
Couple skate.
Couple skate.
He was in
Yeah.
FF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's FF.
Maybe
He
we
was in
should talk
M-Women.
about Vibrations.
Yeah,
And Women was great.
Oh, yeah.
Well, first let's do the movie question.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Vibrations the movie or
No.
Oh, got it.
Analog the movie. Well, because Sarah, we already decided she'd be played by what's the actress from Obvious Child?
Oh, Jay
Jenny
Slate.
Slate. I love her.
I think that would be a good Sarah.
yeah.
I can see that.
So we'll pause so that you guys can think.
Yeah,
Can I
this-
choose
hate
one
this
for
clip.
Tim?
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, okay. I can
Yeah.
do this.
Should we do it that way?
Yeah, do it that way.
Okay.
What age range are we going?
They have to be alive.
It was like Boyhood.
No.
All the way through.
It has to be like now. It's like they're casting it now.
I want to cast Marc Jacobs, the fashion designer for Tim.
I don't know who that is.
Because he went through a period where he wore like really big glasses and he wore a lot of sweaters and he looked
You know
like
his
I have, like
dog.
multiple sweaters.
His dog Neville Jacobs. I follow on Instagram.
Tim. Yeah.
And that dog is fucking adorable.
You
Sure.
follow a dog on
Sure.
Instagram?
He only follows dogs on Instagram.
That's
She
true.
has standards,
Yeah.
Tim.
No, that's actually
Wow.
true.
You should be Marc Jacobs should be you.
Wow.
Danny,
If
I
you ever
think-
want to get pissed off at like rich kids who fucking blow, Larry David's daughters are on Instagram, and all they do is post pictures of how rich they are.
Oh, I don't
It's
want to know
really-
anything
He
bad about Larry
procreated?
David.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want Larry David in my mind. I don't want anything else.
Yeah,
I
anything
can't
related
believe
there
he's
is Larry David.
procreated.
Yeah.
What? I'm sorry, Nicole. Some people don't judge people on
A
looks.
lot of people
Also, yeah. Also,
Why am I judging him on looks? I think he's an asshole. I don't think assholes should have so many children. Because they
Wow.
make asshole children, as
Wait,
we prove.
wait, no. Hold on. I'll disagree with you because this really bugs me.
You disagree with me?
Yes, I disagree with you.
you took a picture of someone and took it.
That guy was Adam Levine.
That's not okay.
So something that pisses me off is like sometimes like when like people are gonna like have kids, their friends are like, oh, it's great that like good people are having kids. All right. You as a parent have nothing to do with how good your kid's going to be. I know people who are shitheads and they had beautiful parents. I know people who are amazing people and had shitty parents. I mean, like, the idea that, like, oh, if you're, like, a good person, you're going to have good kids, bullshit. The idea that if you're a bad person, you're going to have bad kids, bullshit. I'm sorry, Danny, because I know you have two kids. And I'm sure you're a wonderful father. But no, like...
You saw him crying there, right?
Yeah. I thought it was sweat, but...
AM
no,
radio
not just
listeners,
sweat.
I was crying.
You know, we get down to dirty things here. No, I know fucking, yeah, no. So there's, I don't, it annoys me when people are like, oh, we're my friends are cool, so their kids are going to be cool. You don't know that.
Yeah, you could have like an Alex P. Keaton or something.
Yes. Tim, who would play
You
Danny
really
in the
understood
movie?
what he said.
Huh. Well, I think Jason Segel.
Oh!
He came into my
I love
coffee shop
that
once.
choice.
He came
I
in
love
your
that
coffee
choice.
shop?
Yeah, I was going to the bathroom number 2, and my friend was on the bar for me while I was in there, and as soon as I got out, Jason Segel and Michelle Williams were there.
Whoa.
Wow.
And I got really nervous, and I said, oh my god, thank you for coming to my coffee shop. And then they thought, when I said my coffee shop, they meant
You owned it.
I owned it. And I was like, oh no, David Schomer owns it. And then I was like, how's it going? And blah, blah, blah.
Do you think if you hadn't gone to the bathroom before, you would have shit your pants when you saw him?
Probably.
Whoa.
I was
Yeah.
going to shit my
That's
pants.
a
Great
really good
follow-up
question.
question. Yeah.
I was going to shit my pants regardless.
So, speaking of celebrities, you had a special visitor today.
Today.
Yeah. Didn't you have a special visitor today?
Not today.
It was
A
yesterday?
few days ago.
Over the
Okay.
weekend.
Sunday.
Who was
Sunday.
it?
Alton Brown. Who is
Holy shit!
I
Good
know.
Eats Food
Yeah.
Network?
Yeah, I know.
Get the fuck out of right here.
Huge Alton Brown fans right here.
Too.
Yeah.
He videotaped himself holding a shaky coffee cup
Right in front of our
sign.
sign. And can I tell you, it has 150,000 views,
Alton Brown?
which is the most exposure we'll probably ever get.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry.
Until we get bought out.
No, until this podcast goes out. And
Yeah,
then,
right.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Nice.
What's your listener base right now?
Well, live when it's on AM radio,
Who knows?
12.
Wow.
Podcast, 13.
1,000.
Alton Brown?
Yeah. It's a big
That's
deal.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
He-
cool.
Do you remember what he ordered? Wait,
We weren't. None of us were
None of
working.
you were there.
No.
And the people that were working didn't know who he was.
It's okay.
No,
I think it's cool. I think
Yeah,
it's
it's kind
cool.
of
Yeah.
it's kind of cool that
Mamma
he.
mia.
No, but it's cool because we're at a point where we don't have to be there every day, and we have a great staff, so we can like trust that he had a good experience.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like it would have been normal,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
That's the time.
that's
the end of our
Alton.
game.
Alton's
Man.
time's up.
And-
Alton Brown makes the best macaroni and cheese. His recipe for macaroni and cheese is through the roof.
So anyway, so this today is early November.
Okay.
We're gonna release it a little bit later.
Oh, sure.
And Halloween was really fun. I had a hot dog costume, and I combined it with a police officer costume when I was Officer Hot Dog. And I shaved my beard and mustache. I shaved my beard and left my mustache to have it be part of like the mustache cop. And then just for one day, I decided to give myself a Charlie Chaplin mustache. And a lot of people are like, oh, hey, Danny, that's funny that you have that mustache. I'm like, oh, yeah, it's a Charlie Chaplin mustache. And they're like, oh, actually, I was going to say it's somebody else. It's the guy from Sparks. Because the guy from Sparks has a very similar Charlie Chaplin mustache.
That's the only other person I can think of with that
Yeah.
mustache.
Me too.
Yeah.
But anyway,
It was very unpopular.
We talked about Sparks a few podcasts ago.
That's true. Yeah, one of my favorite podcast years. There was two of our coworkers, Sarah Strun and Aiden
Your
Fitzgerald.
employees.
How did you
Employees.
how did you pick that one as your favorite, Tim?
Well, it was the only one that I'd listened to prior to this. But it was
You just spilled. Anyways, continue.
so. And you brought up, or somebody brought up Sparks on that podcast. I believe it was Aiden, not to call him out, and he mentioned an album that we have called Big Boy, and I felt like I should bring up that it's not called Big Boy, although the first song on it is called Big Boy. The album's called Big Beat,
Damn.
and it's Sparks' album from 1976.
And you know what? Oof. Gary, you should have caught that. Gary just lit a cigarette. and gave me a
Oh
finger.
no! It's an incredible album, and we're all big Sparks fans in Analog, so it was
glad you
lovely
got
to
that,
hear him in the
cleared
first
up.
place.
Somebody should be fact checking this.
You folks
Whoa.
sell coffee at many of the festivals.
Yeah.
How did that start?
We sell coffee at 2 festivals.
Which
Many
ones?
of them.
The main one.
Okay, well,
We
see,
sell-
the thing,
we-
I hate festivals, and the only 2 I go to are
Sure.
the ones that you sell at.
So we started selling coffee at Vibrations Music Festival, which is put on by Cairo.
Yeah, our listeners would know more about it, except Cairo refused to come on the radio and talk about it.
That's true.
Cairo, what are they calling themselves?
They said Kai no to
Something
us.
and Gallery?
I don't know.
Oh. Cairo Store and Gallery.
Prism.
No, Prism's
Prism's a
Ballard,
different
but
one.
it's the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Folks.
it's a art and music focused store and gallery and a event space and a
They do, yeah.
workshop space.
They had a really good Elmo
It's
photo show once that Danny and I went
There
to.
is a Notary Public who's there.
whoa.
Really?
It's
No.
I think Cairo's a
There's a paralegal.
very important part of our specific community.
I agree.
Absolutely.
On Summit Slope neighborhood.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That part of Capitol Hill. And so we were really eager to be involved in anything they were doing. And so Vibrations is a super cool, free outdoor music festival where people just go and
I've had fun there, and I bought your coffee there.
there you go.
Same.
Wasn't it one year there that someone came up and asked you guys if you came up with cold coffee? Am I wrong about that?
Well,
I thought there was like someone.
I don't
in
know
line
if
and they
that's
asked-
I don't know if that's something that actually happened, but we were remarking this year that every year people's familiarity with iced coffee and cold brew in particular grows. So this year it was normal, but the first year everyone thought we were selling beer because our sign said cold brew.
Yeah.
No, I remember when I first heard about cold brew, I was like, "What is and toddy?" I kept hearing the word toddy.
Yeah, and
Joe Toddy.
Yeah, and then people would be like, "My last name's Toddy," so people would be like, "Hey, Joe Toddy," and I'd be like, "That's not that funny."
I know
Danny.
I know about Toddy from my days at Cork and Beans.
You accepted it.
So Toddy's just the brand name of the brewer.
Right.
So it's cold brew just describes a cold brewed coffee. So it's brewed overnight at room temperature.
Yeah.
You guys have
ground.
Less
the
acidic.
best cold brew.
I
And you
agree.
sell it
I think
yeah,
it's the
cold.
best.
Oh,
It's-
you have the growlers.
Yeah.
It's
Growlers.
the best.
I got one of the first run of growlers, and I may have lost it.
The white
one.
Ugh,
I'm disappointed. in
that was a
myself.
strong one.
Yeah, there's been quite a few other colors. Since
Yeah.
The best cold brew.
Yeah, it's I actually have to say it's
We're
one
pretty
of the
proud
things,
of it.
Yeah, we're most
Yeah.
proud of.
And
Yeah.
you guys
should
made
be.
that cocktail with Montana, that cold
Oh,
brew.
yeah,
cocktail.
yeah.
That was all them, but we did make the cold brew.
You made the
Yeah.
cold brew.
Yeah,
that was
they-
some of the most fucked up and awake I've ever been.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the same time.
What about the time we were doing key-ups in the bathroom?
You never invite me when you're doing key bumps, Danny.
All right, we're gonna have to go soon.
Well, we gotta go.
We're running out of time. The next show is banging on the door. It's a show that a lot of people want to listen to.
Yep.
I want to thank our guests, Danny and Tim.
Thanks, Danny and Tim.
Thanks for having
If
us.
you want to visit their coffee shop, actually, one thing I was going to ask you about, you close at Christmas, don't you?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
For how long?
Between
For a
Christmas
week,
and New
yeah.
Year's.
That's great. Thank you.
No. I don't like it.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
Poor Danny.
you guys open?
Yeah, maybe we should reconsider our policies.
No, don't.
Oh, yeah, you're right. We shouldn't.
You reconsidered your Sunday policy.
We did.
That was
Well,
a
it wasn't
good
a
move.
policy.
That was a.
That was just so
It makes
what
us-
you told me, Tim, was that you had to take Sunday off so that the people you were dating wouldn't dump you.
Oh, that's probably
That's
true.
true.
That,
And I
that's
thought
true.
that was
Danny was
very
married,
smart.
but yeah, I'm engaged.
You said
now.
you wanted to
So
keep-
Still
it
married?
worked.
You said you
Still
wanted
married.
to
I'm
keep
still
your
married.
relationships.
Yeah. Still
Good job.
married as of this moment.
No.
And
that was
you're
a
with
trying
those
time.
people still because of the Sundays off.
And we were working every day.
Yeah, we work
by
6 days a
ourselves.
week.
Hell yeah, you need a day off.
We didn't have any employees for 8 months.
Who was your
Yeah.
first
Holy
employee?
shit.
Claire and
Claire.
Joe.
Claire and Joe at the same time.
simultaneously.
Oh, really?
I
Yeah.
love Joe.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Joe died.
Other Joe.
No, that was like.
Oh, yeah, I knew that.
That was kind of like Tacos Chucas when they first opened.
Yeah.
It was just the two dudes.
Yeah.
And I used to go there like probably 5 times a week. Like,
Yeah.
no
Their
joke.
cactus taco.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Seriously.
And
5 times a week?
no,
Chucky's
Yeah.
is king.
no.
Oh,
seriously.
yeah.
You know what's funny? Once Alice and I both went, and she thought she went there more, and she asked the dude who owned the place. She's like, "Who's your better customer?" And he looked at both of us, and he put his finger up like towards me. And then it was weird because then he got employees
Yeah.
and stuff, and then there was a line, and like, I know it's horrible to say, but I kind of missed it when no one was going.
When it's half the size.
What is- yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no upstairs.
What? Oh,
No, it was
yeah.
always, wasn't it
Yeah,
always?
it's upstairs, but now there's like an upstairs to the upstairs. But not
Wow.
you can't go up there anyways. I mean, what?
Yeah, I know, but they
What are you
just.
talking about?
If you had a
But he
coupon.
has.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was
Yeah.
so
Give it a
small
go.
before, and now.
Yeah, it was super small.
It's so weird. I know.
And they do so successful at gardening in the windowsills.
They get good
Immense
sun back
pepper
there.
plants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
You thought
get
about
really
having
good.
like growing coffee in the windowsills?
No,
No,
that's not something we
it's never
consider.
considered.
Okay.
They have nice succulents there, though. They're doing well.
They are surviving.
They're living succulents.
All right, we gotta go.
We gotta go.
This has been another week of Excellent Purpose. As it is every week, I've been Danny.
I've been Nicole.
I'm always Joseph.
Just remember, keep one finger on the pause button, one foot in the grave.
And you know what, listeners? Fuck you for listening.
That's that place too. They won't miss you. They don't love you like we do. If you need to, we can share this bed.
This has been a podcast presented by
Hard to find me.
Media. Subscribe to Hard to Find Media on youtube.com/Hard to Find Media Network. This shit is free. Share it. Blast it. Fuck it.